Your dog just tore her ACL. The vet says surgery is going to run somewhere between $4,000 and $6,000. And now you're standing in that exam room trying to figure out whether you can afford to say yes. That's the moment pet insurance is built for. It takes that decision off the table. You say yes, your dog gets the surgery, and the policy reimburses you for most of the bill. And depending on the plan, it can also help with the routine stuff: annual exams, vaccinations, dental cleanings, the visits you're already paying for every year. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jim Eddington, and my agency helps individuals and businesses with their insurance every single day. Today, we're going to walk through what pet insurance actually covers, what it does not cover, how the money works, and how to get it through our agency. There's a link below if you want a quote. Pet insurance is a health insurance policy for your dog or cat. You pay a monthly premium, and when your pet needs medical care, the policy reimburses you for a percentage of the vet bill. It's not like human health insurance where you show a card and the provider bills the carrier. Pet insurance works on a reimbursement model. You pay the vet at the time of service, you submit the claim with the invoice and the medical records, and the carrier sends you a check or a direct deposit for the covered portion. You can use any licensed veterinarian in the country. There are no networks. That includes specialists, emergency clinics, and veterinary hospitals. Wherever your pet gets treated, the policy can reimburse the visit as long as it's a covered expense. There are two main coverage tiers, and most pet insurance carriers offer both. The first is accident and illness. This is the core of pet insurance. It covers things like the ACL tear we talked about, broken bones, cancer, infections, allergies, diabetes, digestive issues, and emergency surgery. If your dog eats something it shouldn't have and needs surgery to remove it, that is a covered accident. If your cat develops kidney disease, that is a covered illness. Hereditary and congenital conditions may be eligible for coverage too, as long as they are not pre-existing. The second tier is wellness coverage. This is an add-on that covers routine and preventive care. Annual exams, vaccinations, dental cleanings, flea and tick prevention, heartworm testing. These are the visits you are already paying for every year. Wellness coverage reimburses you on a fixed schedule for those routine services. Not every pet owner needs the wellness add-on. Some people would rather pay for routine care out of pocket and keep the premium lower. The accident and illness coverage is where the real financial protection lives, because that's where the large unexpected bills come from. One thing worth clarifying, your homeowner's insurance does have liability coverage for your pet, but that's a completely different thing. If your dog bites someone and they sue you, your homeowner's policy may cover the liability claim. That has nothing to do with your dog's medical care. Homeowner's liability protects you from claims by other people. Pet insurance covers your pet's vet bills. Those are two separate exposures. So what doesn't it cover? Pre-existing conditions. This is the biggest exclusion across the entire pet industry. If your pet has a condition before the policy starts, or if a condition shows up during the waiting period, it's not covered. That's true for every carrier. Some carriers will reconsider a curable condition if the pet has been symptom-free and treatment-free for a certain period, often 6 months. But chronic conditions or conditions that require ongoing management are generally excluded permanently. Cosmetic procedures are excluded. Ear cropping, claw removal, tail docking, breeding costs, and pregnancy expenses are excluded. Elective procedures are excluded. And here's the one that catches people off guard. Anything that happens during the waiting period may be classified as pre-existing, even though you already bought the policy. The waiting period is the window when your coverage starts and when the carrier will actually begin paying claims. That window exists to prevent someone from buying a policy after their pet is already sick and filing a claim the next day. One detail to check before you buy is whether exam fees, diagnostics, medications, and follow-up visits are included or handled separately, because not every plan treats those the same way. There are 3 numbers that determine what you pay and what the carrier pays. The first is the deductible. This is the amount you pay out of pocket before the policy starts reimbursing. Most pet insurance uses an annual deductible, meaning once you hit that number for the year, every covered claim after that gets reimbursed. Deductible options typically range from around $250 up to $1,000 or more. A higher deductible means a lower monthly premium, and a lower deductible means a higher monthly premium. Same trade-off as any other insurance product. The second is the reimbursement percentage. This is the share of the covered bill the carrier pays after the deductible is met. Common options are 70, 80, or 90%. If you choose 80% reimbursement and you have a $4,000 surgery after you've met your deductible, the carrier reimburses $3,200 and you pay $800. The third is the annual maximum. This is the most the carrier will pay out in a single policy year. Some carriers provide different limits, so the options depend on who is writing the policy and what plan you choose. Here's what that looks like on the ACL surgery we started with. Say the surgery costs $5,000. You have a $500 annual deductible, and you chose 80% reimbursement. The first $500 is yours. The remaining $4,500 gets reimbursed at 80%, so the carrier sends you $3,600. Your total out-of-pocket on a $5,000 surgery is $1,400. Without the policy, the entire $5,000 is yours. Your monthly premium is determined by the combination of those three choices, plus your pet's age, breed, and where you live. Veterinary costs vary by region, and some breeds are more expensive to insure because they're prone to certain conditions. A young, healthy pet with a high deductible and lower reimbursement percentage is going to have a lower premium. An older pet with a low deductible and 90% reimbursement is going to cost more. Every pet insurance policy has waiting periods. A waiting period is the window between when your coverage starts and when the carrier will actually begin paying claims. For a lot of carriers, that window is around 14 days across the board, accidents and illness included. Some carriers handle it differently and may have shorter waiting periods for accidents or longer waiting periods for certain orthopedic conditions. Waiting periods may also vary by state, so check your policy documents. That means if your pet gets hurt or sick in the first couple of weeks, the carrier is not going to cover it. And that condition may be classified as pre-existing going forward. This is one of the reasons getting pet insurance early matters. The younger and healthier the pet is when that policy starts, the fewer conditions are excluded. The best time to get pet insurance is when your pet is young and healthy. Every month you wait is a month where something could happen that becomes a pre-existing condition on a future policy. The ACL tear we talked about. If your dog tears that ACL before you have a policy, the surgery is not covered. And depending on the carrier, future knee and ligament conditions on that leg may not be covered either, even after the policy is in place. A lot of people think about pet insurance after the first big vet bill. By then, whatever caused that bill is already pre-existing. The whole point of insurance is to have it before you need it. That applies to pet insurance the same way it applies to every other kind of coverage we write. We write pet insurance through Safeco, which is part of Liberty Mutual. It's a standalone policy separate from your home or auto. You can customize the deductible, the reimbursement percentage, and the annual maximum. They offer both accident and illness coverage on an optional wellness add-on. There are age limits for new enrollment, and once your pet is enrolled, renewals are not subject to age limits as long as coverage stays continuous. Discounts are available for multiple pets, multiple Safeco policies, and military status. We can walk you through the options and help you figure out which plan fits your pet and your budget. Pet insurance is not for everybody. If you have the financial ability to absorb a $5,000 or $10,000 vet bill without it affecting your household, you may not need it. Some people prefer to self-insure and set money aside in a savings account for pet emergencies. But for a lot of families, the premium is manageable and the emergency bill is not. If a monthly premium fits your budget, but a major surgery, cancer treatment, emergency hospitalization, or specialist visit would create a financial crisis, that is where pet insurance makes sense. The peace of mind is real. Knowing that the financial part is handled means you can focus on what actually matters, which is getting your pet the care it needs. If you have a dog or a cat and you don't have pet insurance, it's worth a conversation. We offer pet insurance in Nevada, Arizona, California, and Utah. We can walk you through the options, show you what the premium looks like for your specific pet, and help you figure out whether it makes sense for your situation. The link below takes you to our quote page. Subscribe to the channel. We publish most business days, and what we cover is for individuals, families, and business owners who want to understand their insurance before they need it, not after. Thanks for watching.